Hi all, welcome. It's a day off work, so I've gone to the hills and I'm in the forest. I'm actually at a different spot today in the forest. I was originally going to go head on down to the new spot that I had found, but because of my concerns with just a lack of water and so on, I thought I'd check some different areas, and I found this nice kind of spot here which has something of a source of water, very minimal running, but it's better than what's in the other spot, which is absolutely nothing. So today what I'm planning is just a little bit of an overnight. I have minimal gear with me today. I have no sleeping bag, no blanket, no roll mat, anything like that. So what I'm trying to do or trying to achieve is sort of build something that I can sleep on, use the natural materials around to sort of give me something of a sort of a mattress or cushioning, and use a fire then to keep myself warm. I've chosen this area here. It's got sort of a natural little sort of a kind of a small valley. It's dry in here, so it's not a drain area. There's a lot of drain areas around it, so I'm quite confident that there's no water running through here, unless maybe in really wet times. But as I say, it's very dry looking here, so it looks okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter, it's only for one night, and it's something of an experiment that I want to do. I just see, can I keep myself warm with no blanket and no sleeping bag, and obviously no tent. So my plan, cut down some dry standing trees and make something of a bed here across this wee valley, then have the fire, so the bed will be sort of raised up and the fire will be down below it. And what I'm hoping is that the heat of the fire will sort of circulate around and sort of make its way underneath me and keep me warm. Now my only concern is that the wind may sort of be blowing down through here a bit. The reason I've chosen this kind of area is there's a sort of opening out behind the camera there, so there's a lot of light coming in. It's not ideal for maximum shelter in terms of shelter from the wind, but it's just nicer in terms of filming particularly, and just in general sort of being here. It's not much fun when you're in a real dark forest and there's no light getting through and so on, so it's nice to have that little bit of sunlight coming through. I'm not going to dilly-dally about too much more because it's coming 1 o'clock, and by 6 o'clock it's going to be dark, so I need to get this job done before nightfall. And in my experience, trying to source these dead standing trees, get them cut down, get them processed and so on, does take time. And then get a ball built and get a fire done and all that there, it all takes time, more than you would think, and get something to eat as well. So I'm going to get cracking on with it. So that's the main base of the bed done. What I need to do now is get some spruce branches and layer that across to give it a nice kind of springy mattress effect. It should be nice and soft and insulated as well. And we'll get a fire kind of down in there roughly. I might, if I get time, block this off with some sort of a wall here. With some sort of a wall at the back here. But we'll see how we go. It's currently 3 o'clock and it's going to be dark around 6 or half 6. So kind of need to keep on pressing on with this. Bedding done there now. Got the spruce branches on the top there. Obviously it's a touch jaggy, but it's better than having no insulation whatsoever. I'll tidy it up along the edges later on and possibly put on more later, but that's as far as I'm going to go at the minute. Obviously I need to kind of trim up the edges there, but and just be mindful with the fire and spruce and so on and so forth. I'll get a tarp over the top of this as well, just to keep the rain off me if I can find some tie-off points. But yeah, that's a minor detail. So this kind of all I brought with me today was a saw, hatchet, shovel, a tarp, and I have a poncho as well just for emergencies. Obviously I have my cooking gear, I have my Kelly kettle. That's probably the biggest part of my pack, to be honest. That and camera gear. I'd be kind of shocked how much space camera gear takes up, even when it's minimal stuff. Like this is, I'm filming this on a GoPro, but I need a tripod with that as well, and that takes up a fair bit of, any sort of decent tripod takes up a fair bit of room. Even when I was round looking through the forest and so on for that wood, I found a lot of nice spots for possible videos as well. A lot of uprooted trees and very suitable shelter spots. Ones I wish I had found before I started this, but yeah, I'm happy enough to go with this as well. I'll crack on. I think the next thing I'm going to do is maybe go and get that water, because I haven't had anything to drink since I came here and I'm getting thirsty, because once you start getting thirsty then things get hard to do and so on. So that's the wee water source here. Now it's nothing more really than a trickle, but a trickle is enough just to keep it fresh and stop it being stagnant. And there's actually vegetation along it as well, growing in it, so that gives an idea just that it's quite clean, and it's much cleaner than the previous river I had in the forest, which was very brown and peaty. This water is actually not exactly clear, but it's a lot clearer than the peaty water I was using before, so this might be not bad at all. I'll just give you a look at the wee vegetation just behind the camera here as well. So it's the wee river there, and you can see kind of those sort of, I don't know what you would call those, but seeing that there in a river is a fairly good sign that it's clean anyway. So yeah, that small bit of vegetation there in that river gives an idea that it's somewhat clean enough to drink from anyway, for a cup of tea, as long as it's obviously filtered and then boiled to purify it. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get this on the boil, get a cup of tea, maybe make something quick to eat, and then we'll plough on with the rest of the work. Well, that is one fine cup of tea. Absolutely no bad taste in that water at all. Very nice. And I'm having a wee bit of like mint Aero type bar. It's Aldi's version of it. I just had to have something there. I'm going to cook some noodles now in a minute too. Nothing fancy, just Aldi's cheapest noodles. Those bad boys there. They're just cheap and easy to pack and light and quick to cook. And to give you loads of energy. So, and the highlight of the meal tonight is going to be this Wagyu, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, Wagyu ribeye steak from Aldi as well. I'm just going to cook it on the coals, I think, because I don't have a pan big enough to fry it on, but it should be fine. It shouldn't take very long to cook it anyway. But I'm going to enjoy this bit of chocolate, get those noodles on, and then, yeah, get the fire reflector sorted and then sort of relax. Oh yeah, I need to get the tarp up too. Really is nice to get away from it all. Birds are chirping away there, singing because it's coming to evening time and they usually go a bit more active around this time. I have to say something about this forest as well, because it's new to me and because there's so much storm damage with trees blown down everywhere. Very, very easy to get lost in here. When I was cutting down these timbers here for the bed, it was very hard to find my way back here, and at one point I thought I wasn't going to find it again, and when I did, I immediately put a GPS marker on my watch here, which you can do. I should have done that at the start, but I always forget about it. I kind of forget that functionality is on this watch. It's just something to be mindful of. If you do go into a new forest or a new location and you have a watch that can do it, a lot of people do have GPS watches now, is put a marker down for your location that should the worst happen you can't find it, at least you can get back to your spot again and find your way out from there. I dug out a wee bit of a fireplace there. We'll see how that goes. I think with the kind of fire there and the reflector behind it, it should radiate the heat towards me somewhat, but we'll see anyway. Not going to get too concerned about it. As long as there's a fire there for some wee bit of heat, that's all I need really. Okay, so I've the tea in me, got the noodles in me too, cooked up pretty quick, no problem. And I've got the fire on, and I've got a tar pop as well. Just a simple enough kind of configuration to put the middle of the tarp just towards over the bed to the outer edge of it here, and it's coming over the fire as well. The only concern is maybe a touch low for the fire, but the sparks seem to be dying before they reach the top, so here's hoping it doesn't melt through. But I was lying up on the bed there, and there's actually quite a good circulation of heat up there. It feels nice and warm, so I'm hopeful it should keep me warm for tonight. I think the way the wind's sort of channeling down under the bed is sort of hitting the fire, and it's making sure that the smoke goes out the way too, which is a good thing. But next thing I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wait for these coals to die down a bit, and I'm going to get that steak on, and yeah, then it's time to relax and hit the hay and enjoy a night in the forest. There's a truly magnificent waft of barbecued steak flying around here now. Can't wait to eat this. Mm. You can see that is pretty much cooked to perfection. Just tears apart like so. And it's as delicious as it looks. When you're cooking it like that on the coals, the juices and fats that come out of the steak kind of tend to sort of push any ash or anything that sticks it off, and if there's any little wee bits of ash or coal, you just scrape them off with a spoon or knife or whatever. That's absolutely fine. Not for some people, but if that's your only way of cooking, that's your only way of cooking, and it's better that than not cooking it. Well, that's the steak devoured. It was very, very tasty. I've put a few more sticks on the fire, have a wee supply there for the night, and I'll cut some more as the night goes on, but basically this is it. I'm just going to turn in for the night, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.